good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're zooming in from, I suppose. So very warm welcome to all of you and welcome to the Metta Convention. So on behalf of the Metta Centre, I wish to firstly pay my respects to the Triple Gems, the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, and also to all the Venerable Sangha who are joining us today in person as well as online. And we pay our respects to all of you. And to our Dhamma brothers and sisters who are here in the room with us, or those who are joining us online, a very warm welcome to you all as well. This convention is truly an international event. We have speakers and participants from all around the world, and I would love to know where everyone is joining in from. So for those who are joining us online, if you could just pop into the chat your name and where you're from. And for those who are here in person, I would love to hear from you the city that you're coming from. So if you're from Sydney, then just call out Sydney. Shall we give it a try? Wake everyone up. 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's great. And those online, thank you for adding into the chat as well. I see that we truly are international today. So we've had quite a week this week. We've had a Buddhist trivia. We've had haiku writing with tea. We've had talks, a multicultural dinner where we fed everyone for free. And now here we are. 2 glorious days to spend together listening to wisdom from teachers from all around the world. So the Metta Convention also falls on an auspicious occasion, coinciding with the International Bhikkhuni Day. And to celebrate this, we have fully ordained bhikkhunis from the various Buddhist traditions who will be sharing the Buddhist teachings during this convention. And all this would not be possible without all the causes and conditions coming together, particularly from the kindness and generosity of many people, volunteers, Buddhist temples and organisations. So this is truly an event where the Buddhist community has come together to help make possible. And the Metta Centre team has spent months organising this event, and I will acknowledge them and also all those who have helped properly at the close of this convention. But for now, I wish to thank in particular the Western Sydney University for sponsoring this event, and one very special man who has helped make this possible, Daniel Jantos. He's the Inclusive Communities Coordinator at WSU. Can you please join me in welcoming Mr. Jantos for opening this event on behalf of the uni and also an acknowledgement of country.
Thank you. It is such an incredible privilege for us at Western Sydney University, and especially the chaplaincy service here, to welcome you to this Metta conference and to be able to have some part in sponsoring this event. We wholeheartedly welcome you here to campus, and I hope that you're able to, while you're here, sense something of the commitment to learning and to young people and all those, whatever age, who are curious and who wish to develop within ourselves, within themselves, the capacity to be able to make a contribution to their communities and to this beautiful and often troubled world that we live in. It is, on the other hand, so lovely that this place will throughout this week be infused with the teaching of Dharma here. Thank you. Waking up this morning, something in the consciousness began to see this red and yellow building as a Bodhi tree, the protruding floors as branches, and all of us gathered here, celebrating and engaging with the ancient wisdom passed on from one teacher to another. Perhaps there has never been a time where the wisdom has been more needed. As is our lovely tradition here, habit here in Australia, we would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous stewards of this land and their long relationship to this place. The Uluru Statement from the Heart calls it sovereignty. but it's not a political concept or a legal concept. The Uluru Statement calls it a spiritual notion, a tie between the land and the people. The Darug and the Darawal people have long been born on this land, sustained themselves from it, buried their loved ones here. That is the basis of the deep reverence, represented by the elders whom we acknowledge, past, present, and emerging. But it is also likely that many of us who have made this place home will also have loved ones who were born here. We also rely on this land to sustain us. And we also have buried loved ones here and will someday likely be laid to rest in this country ourselves. So in acknowledging the long Indigenous history and paying our respects to the elders, may we also commit ourselves to walk gently and respectfully on this ground and to join, as the Uluru Statement invites us to, together towards a better and a shared future for all the people and for all the beings, flora and fauna, that constitutes what we call country. Welcome.
Oh, gosh, thank you so much, Daniel. That was an incredibly heartfelt, very moving introduction. Welcome to the space and acknowledgement of country. It's so incredibly important that we acknowledge country in the way that you have just demonstrated with so much heart and integrity. And I want to say I can really feel the metta in the room right now. And it's such an honour to be here. My name is Letty, and I'm incredibly honoured to be here. I'm going to change tone quickly. We need to just cover a few basics. The toilets are located out the door and then to the left. And in case of any kind of emergency, highly unlikely, but as Buddhists, you know, we always know to expect the unexpected. Everything is uncertain. So please just gather in the green area outside. And we also ask that if possible, people could put their mobile phones on silent or switch them off during today's session. So wow, it's beautiful to be here, and I'm incredibly delighted to be co-emceeing today's events with my dear friend, John Kerrison. John, you're someone who has such a big heart, and so it's beautiful to do this with you.
Thank you, Letty. That is really kind of you. I was actually really nervous this morning until I realised there was just so much love in the room, and so all of those anxieties went away. It is really wonderful to be here. I'm relatively new to Buddhism, but I've been embraced, and it's a wonderful thing. Without further ado, it is a very busy agenda today, Letty. It is my absolute honour to invite the Venerable Dr Juewei for our opening ceremony.
Thank you.
Auspicious greetings, all Dhamma brothers and friends, Dhamma sisters from all 10 directions, both here in the room as well as virtually in the cyberspace. Thank you so much for the honor to be able to officiate the opening of this weekend called the Metta Olympics. I don't know, I must have accumulated tons of merits from my past lives to be able to stand here today. Metta Olympics is such a playful name. I want to congratulate our organizers for thinking of a name like Metta Olympics. Metta meaning loving kindness, and Olympics, right? Olympics. It brings to mind this faster, stronger, higher motto from the Olympics motto. And I was thinking to myself, that sounds like capitalism to me. But seriously, But I think on the positive side, I think in terms of the Dharma wheel of kindness, turning faster, higher. And perhaps that's what this convention is about. I'd like to invite everyone to join me in thanking our hard-working team that Tina has led for all the hard work for the months before. So shall we give them a big round of applause? I've organized events and I know how much effort goes behind the scenes. And this team at Metta Centre organized this as their second convention. The first Metta Convention was held in March. Then there was the Metta Festival in June. The Metta Convention, for an entire week with a full weekend of activities. And on top of that, they have not stopped their weekly Dharma talks as well. What an amazing team. So I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I feel so hopeful for the lay community here, for your support of the Sangha, your support of the Triple Gem, and of course, your support of keeping the Dharma wheel turning. I've actually prepared a script around, how important metta is in this perplexing, challenging, complex VUCA world that we live in. But then as I was going through it, I go like, I'm preaching to the choir, the Buddhist choir. So instead of doing that, I thought perhaps let's have a little ice-breaking activity, both on site as well as online. And we'll just take a couple of minutes to do this. So first of all, I'd just like to invite everybody here in the auditorium to find a partner, someone that you're sitting next to, that you would like to express kindness to in a little while. So while you're doing that here on site, I'd like to invite those online. And yes, the hardworking team, you should find a partner too. Those online in Zoom space, if you can open up your participants list, your participants list, you will be able to find a number. So find where your name is and look for the person just below you. Okay, so try to express kindness to the person who is just below you. And if you're the last person on the list, no worries. You will be expressing kindness to the person at the top of the list. So if that's clear. So if you're number 1 on the list, think of something kind to say to number 2. If you're number 2 on the list, think of something kind to say to number 3. This is a good time if you're online to turn on your camera if that's accessible to you. And the same thing for the line, and you go down the line that way. So in a moment, what I will ask you to do is just think of something from the bottom of your heart, something kind to say to your partner. And if you're on site, hear what one of you start first, say something kind to the person, and then hear the reverse. We take a minute to do that. And those online, I'd like to invite you to simply type in something kind to say to that person in cyberspace and address it to that person so that person knows that you're talking to him or her or them. Any questions? Is that clear? Is that okay? Shall we take a minute to do this? Please proceed, and I'll ring the bell when it's done. So those online, please feel free to post on the chats the name of the person and something kind. Just open the participants list if you can't see. And just type in the person's name and a nice kind message. If you're unable to open the participants list, yes, you can send a kind message to everyone and we will be able to receive that. All right, are we good? Are we ready to come back? It's so good. I can feel so much joy going around in the auditorium space and here in the chat list as well. Oh, this is so good to watch these messages of kindness on the chats. That's great. All right. So let's come back to this space because we do have a program that's about to start soon. So my dear friends, I should know this. As a teacher, it's always very dangerous to do breakouts because you can never bring people back. My dear friends, how does it feel to receive a message of kindness? And how did it feel to be able to express kindness to another person? And what did you learn about the impacts of small acts of kindness? Perhaps we can take a moment to reflect on the experience of what metta is like in practice. It's not difficult, but it can be impactful. Since we don't have much time now, in an hour or so, I'm going to invite you to share with us all about how you felt about this little ice-breaking activity. And finally, I just ask you to congratulate the Metta Centre once again for this very, very timely, much needed Metta Convention. Over the weekend, I look forward to many exchanges of loving kindness, friendships, and reflections. And I hope that everyone will find something nourishing for us for the weeks and the days to come. Thank you very much. All the best. Thanks.